Um, good afternoon again. This is Alex Spiro and Luke Nikas from Quinn Emanuel, and we're joined by our colleague, Heather LeBlanc.
Okay, thank you. All right. And then the next case is D101CR 2023-40, and counsel, state your appearance for this case.
Mary Carmichael, twice for the same.
And Your Honor, Jason Bowles from Ms. Gutierrez-Reed.
Okay, and I think you might want to turn your volume up a little, Ms. Carmichael, twice. Okay. All right, so we're here for status. Who would like to begin?
Yes, Your Honor. We received an email from the state today that they are providing us with the discovery today.
Mhm.
And so we've previously made Giglio and Brady demands on the state. I'm hopeful that the discovery we're receiving today includes these items. There hasn't been a response on that, but I'm hopeful that that's being included in what's being produced today. In addition, we've asked for the vouchers for the case because we need to be able to look at and visit the property. And we've asked the state to make that available to us, and we're hopeful to see the property, the evidence in this case, on April the 12th. The court, I don't think, is aware at this point, but I think I should tell the court that the firearm in this case, that's a great subject of it, was destroyed by the state. So that's obviously an issue, and we're going to have to see that firearm or what's left of it. In addition, we're hopeful that today we could set a date for the preliminary hearing.
Okay, let me just say that at this point, on the first appearance for Ms. Gutierrez-Reed, I told Ms. Carmichael twice to file a motion for extension of time if she did not want it on April 25th. I have not seen a motion on that. A motion, and if it's stipulated to, a stipulated order, but I've not seen that. But I've not seen that motion.
We have been in discussions about trying to find a date that all parties can agree to. If the court would have us on such a date, we obviously are not. I'm not aware of the court schedule. We would not be willing to waive the 60-day clock. We would have some flexibility right around the time of the 60-day clock or into early May. But for a variety of reasons, one, that Mr. Baldwin wants his day in court, but also counsel's trial schedule, frankly, we would need to do it close to the 60-day clock in order to do this in a timely manner.
And Your Honor, that is correct. I didn't know about this April 12th date. Mr. Spiro, I will talk with you offline about trying to get that set up. I would agree that April 25th is the 60-day date. Actually, I had it calculated as April 24th. I have not filed a motion yet, Your Honor. I was attempting somewhat to confirm both sets of counsel. It seems like Mr. Bowles is available later in May. Mr. Baldwin's counsel are only available earlier in May. We are mostly open all of May. There's a couple of Fridays that I would ask that we not have the hearing. We are thinking that it will probably take, I initially told counsel 1 week. I think it'll probably take 2 weeks. I think we could potentially be ready to start that last week of April or at the latest that first week of May. Of course, I don't know what the court schedule is. But I can also file that motion if the court schedule doesn't work, and we can ask for an enlargement of time.
It sounds like you need one. I mean, it sounds
Your Honor, and may I just add on behalf of Ms. Gutierrez-Reed, I did tell the court at the last hearing, I have a federal trial April 24th commencing before Judge Urias, and that, as it stands now, is set for 2 weeks. That's why I indicated to Ms. Carmichael that I am available that later part of May. Now I can, if it's set earlier in May, Your Honor, if this court would set it at that time, I'll just work and do whatever I can to make that work. But I am set right now in front of Judge Urias.
well, what I had planned to do today was I brought my calendar. And so if you're going to go past the 25th, then Ms. Carmichael, even if we agree on dates, needs to do a motion to follow, so there's continuity in the court file. But I'm prepared to set that date, but I'm also prepared to do the motion for disqualification. And I would like to set that first, obviously. And the reply deadline is March 21st, but that's up to you whether you want whether you're going to turn it in sooner. So are we at a point where we could talk about dates today?
Yes.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so let's talk about them. Let's do the motion for disqualification first, knowing that it's up to Mr. Baldwin's counsel whether they want the hard time of the 21st or whether they want shorter or longer.
Yes, Your Honor. We could have that in on the 20th. We're already into next week at this point, being the week before the 21st. So we couldn't have it in much. I wouldn't want to commit to having it in much earlier, but we could have the hearing immediately thereafter as soon as the court was able.
Okay, well, I have my calendar up. So when do you think you all could do that? And certainly it would be on Google Meets, unless anyone's asking for it to be in person. I don't know why that would be. And that would be also you, Mr. Bowles.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, let's start with Mr. Spiro, because Ms. Carmack-Altwise said that she was open. So why don't you give me some dates and how long, is this a day-long hearing?
I don't believe so, Your Honor. It sort of depends on the court and the questions that the court may have. At this point, the court has not suggested to the parties that there needs to be an evidentiary portion of this. Obviously, this is simply legal argument. So I think this can be done in a short block of court time. I wouldn't want to take up too much of the court's time, and we think the issue is rather clear. So the week that we file this response is fine with us, which is the 22nd, 23rd, 24th. Obviously, if the court wants time to read and digest, I don't know the court schedule, our reply, it could be the following week as well. But we do think this issue should be dealt with, obviously, in a time-sensitive manner.
And I would agree with that, Your Honor. I would ask that you set it the week of the 27th, not the week before.
All right, is counsel able to hear Ms. Carmack-Altwise?
Not very well.
Not well, Your Honor.
Can you turn up your volume? It sounds very muffled.
I can try. I have it. Is that any better?
It's a little bit better on my end, for what it's worth.
Okay. All right, Mr. Bowles, what about you?
Your Honor, that week of the 27th does work. Pretty much any day this court would set it. If that's what this court preferred. Monday, the 27th works.
That is a good day for the court. Is that a good day for everyone?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, let's do that. All right, so the motion for disqualification will be, and my Google begins at 10 o'clock. We share Google here. So 10 o'clock Mountain Time. Would that work for everybody?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so we have that set. All right, next up, let's discuss the preliminary.
I think from what I've heard from the state, and I understand Mr. Bowles has some scheduling issue, but I think, especially now that I'm hearing that it could be a 2-week hearing, that if the court's available at the beginning of May, we would like to start as early in May as possible.
So Ms. Carmack-Altwise, I just learned from IT that to stop the echoing, you need to mute your computer when you're not speaking. Okay. So you said the first week in May, but she said 2 weeks. So are we doing the first 2 weeks in May?
That's fine with Mr. Baldwin's counsel.
It's also fine with the state, Your Honor. I don't think that works for Mr. Bowles, though.
For who?
Mr. Bowles.
Oh, okay.
And Your Honor, I may be overruled. I just, my federal trial will probably go into that week. However, I mean, I don't know if this court could even start Wednesday, May 3rd to give it a few more days.
That would be fine with Mr. Baldwin's counsel.
That's also fine with the state.
All right, so I'm going to, May 3rd. And May 17th is when you think you're going to finish?
Yes, I think we could get there.
Your Honor, as the court's aware, the state has filed a lengthy witness list. I believe there's 46 witnesses. It's grown at least once. We would ask just so this can be an orderly process. And so we make sure Mr. Baldwin has a fair opportunity to prepare for this, that the state identify the actual subset of witnesses that they intend to call. It will also allow us to notify and subpoena the necessary witnesses that we need, that they're not calling or that we need to answer some of these allegations.
Do you have a deadline in mind?
I would think that the state would be in a position already, frankly, to tell us at least which witnesses they are certain they are calling and some witnesses that they are not. So I would ask for a good faith roadmap, at least at this point, of what they do know. And then maybe, 3 weeks from now, a month from now, they can tell us exactly who they intend to call, and it can be subject to minor adjustment, obviously, but that at least gives us a roadmap. And then maybe 2 weeks before the hearing, we sort of have a final list so that we go into it all knowing and it can map out the schedule for everybody.
And Your Honor, I would object to that. There is no rule that requires that for a preliminary hearing. We have filed our witness list. If we narrow it down when we determine that we're going to, I will let defense counsel know, but I would ask that you not give us a deadline for that.
Well, I think it's reasonable to have a deadline, especially with 46. We've got a 2-week trial here. I would think that there'd be a certain point where you really had a certainty.
Well, then I would ask for a week to 2 weeks prior to the preliminary hearing.
The February hearing? Did you say the February hearing?
The preliminary hearing.
Oh, preliminary hearing. Okay. Mr. Spiro?
Yeah, and I would ask for at least, it sounds like the state can do it and is not objecting to a 2-week. At a minimum, we would ask for 2 weeks. Counsel's obviously traveling to attend this and has other trials before and after this. And to do this in
I think we're pretty close. You asked for a month. That would have been about the 9th or the 10th. She's asking for 2 weeks. That's the 17th. It's another Monday from the 10th of April. So the 17th will be the deadline. Okay?
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right. So what you'll need, I will need from you, Ms. Carmack Altweiss, before I move the April 25th date, is a motion. And then you can note their stipulation for May 3rd.
I will get that done. Thank you.
Okay, so have we been, are we clear on what we're going to do? So shall I just repeat? March 27th at 10 o'clock. It's a Monday. We're going to do the motion to disqualify. And then on May 3rd until May 7th through May 17th, we're going to do the preliminary examination for both defendants. And where's my calendar? On April 17th is the deadline for the state to identify their certain witnesses for the preliminary examination. And I will look for that motion to move the preliminary examination in order that I begin resetting these matters, or setting these matters.
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. All right. Thank you, counsel.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, we are in recess.